Alright, what is going on YouTube? So today, I actually wanted to talk about something that got revealed earlier this month regarding the live-action adaptation project of the video game franchise Cyberpunk 2077. Now, the main reason I wanted to talk about this is because I feel like for most of my anime fans out there, we all know the impact of Cyberpunk Edgerunners and how great the show was, how it broke all of our hearts. We all know, right? Anime of the year for the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, like, huge impact. Arguably more impactful than the actual game itself. So, if there's going to be a live-action adaptation of the video game franchise, then could we potentially see some elements or characters from the anime Edgerunners be translated into live action, therefore making it an anime live action in some kind of way? That's my main reason for talking about it anyway. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the article and then we'll get more into it later on. It says here, developer CD Projekt Red just announced it is in the early stages of developing a live action TV show or movie based on the once hated and now beloved Cyberpunk 2077 game. Details are scant, as we don't even know if it'll be a film or ongoing series, but the game developer has teamed up with production company Anonymous Content to bring Night City to glorious live-action life. You probably don't know Anonymous Content by name, but the company's behind a slew of high-profile, critically acclaimed TV shows, like True Detective and Mr. Robot. It's also helped produce recent films like The Revenant and Spotlight, but also classics like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and Being John Malkovich. This is a serious production company, so we could be in for something special. While CD Projekt Red hasn't announced whether this will be a show or movie, there are some hints indicating it will be a TV series. The developer went out of its way to note that it's working closely with certain members of the Anonymous Content team, all of which are heavily involved in the TV side of things. For instance, the dev called out the company's head of television, Garrett Kimball, and noted Chief Creative Officer David Levine's decade-long tenure at HBO. Levine was heavily involved with getting Game of Thrones and Westworld on the network, in addition to other hit shows. The situation here looks slightly different from Netflix's The Witcher show, as that's adapted from the source books and not the video game series. Cyberpunk 2077 is a whole original IP, giving CD Projekt Red a good amount of creative control over how the story plays out. To that end, the developer hasn't indicated this would be a one-to-one adaptation of the game, rather stating it's set in the world of Cyberpunk 2077. This looks to be in the extreme early stages of development, so it could be years before we see the lawless Badlands or the slums of Dogtown in live action. This series or movie will join the Netflix anime Cyberpunk Edgerunners. When you think about it, it's pretty nuts that the Cyberpunk IP is flourishing in this way. The game launched as a buggy mess, forcing Sony to actually pull it from online store and both CD Projekt Red and Microsoft to issue refunds to unhappy customers. Since that disastrous launch, the developer has slowly and steadily improved just about every aspect of the game, transforming whole gameplay mechanics in the process. The end result? Cyberpunk 2077 is now considered to be a truly special video game. With 25 million sales to prove it, even the recently released Phantom Liberty DLC has already ranked up 3 million downloads. And yeah, that's just about it for the article. So I think this is pretty interesting. I mean, I have talked about video game live action adaptations in the past. If you guys have paid attention or been subscribed for a while, you guys know I talked about there's going to be a Gravity Rush live action, a Mega Man live action, another Mortal Kombat live action film, which is a mistake, huge mistake. But yeah, there's a lot of live action films of video games actually coming out, and some of them I feel like do fit that anime aesthetic, which is why I may have my eye on some of them. But this one I am kind of curious because I'm a huge fan of Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I think it was a great anime. Studio Trigger did their thing, and I think most of us anime fans can agree that it was a pretty well done show. They could take this project to adapt the story of Edgerunners into live action. I don't really think there's a high chance of that happening, but at the very least there is a chance of that happening. And if that is what happens, I think we could consider this an anime live action, or at the very least somewhat, because I do think it would be really cool and a missed opportunity if they don't have some elements or some kind of characters or story plots that carry over from Edgerunners into, you know, this new live action project. I think it would be really cool if they have like a new story that maybe takes references or has nods to Edgerunners and the actual game, but it could be that they decide to adapt a story straight from the game or a story straight from the anime. Because as some of you guys know, the way Edgerunners ends, I mean, not that I want any continuation or anything like that, like I don't want another season or anything, but I do feel like if they wanted to tell another story with the characters that we have like in Edgerunners, I think they definitely could. Like there's definitely potential there, especially if it's going to be a movie. I think there's definitely a possibility, you know, but nonetheless, I think I would still be happy if we just got to see David Martinez appear like in the live action at some point. I think that would be pretty cool too, you know, or Lucy, Rebecca, like just any of the Edgerunners characters I think would be really cool if they just popped in this live action, if it's not actually based on Edgerunners. But yeah, either way, that's the main reason I wanted to talk about it, and that's the main reason why I'm going to have my eye on this live action project. More than likely, I feel like they're gonna have something with Keanu Reeves since he's like in the game, right? So, but I think it would be really cool if we see some form of the anime adapted into this live action project. But with that being said, what do you guys think about Cyberpunk 2077 getting a live action project? Are you guys excited? Do you guys think it can be pulled off well? Would you guys like them to adapt a live action version of the Edgerunners storyline? Or would you rather prefer them adapting a new story or one straight from the game? Let me know in the comments below. Please leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. That helps me out a ton. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see y'all in the next video.